know that you can create a staging folder for new cameras. This will allow you to add new cameras to the system that won't automatically grant all users access to this camera. In order to do this, you will need to create a new folder in the Site View Editor. You can get here by going to the Setup menu, by starting a new task and clicking Site Setup. In the Setup menu, you will select the site's level, so the topmost icon, and then you can select the Site View Editor. In here, you can press the plus icon to create a new folder. I've already created mine here, and I've called it Staging. Next, you'll want to remove all other user permissions from this folder. To do this, we will go to the Users and Groups section. We will go to the Groups, and then we will edit the groups that we do not want to have permission to this. In most cases, it will be all users except the administrators. In this example, I'm going to be removing the rights to this folder for Permission Group 1 and Permission Group 2. After you've done this, and it is now time to add a new camera to the system, you will click on Connect Disconnect Devices and select the camera that we are connecting to the system, connect, and on the left side under the Location section, we want to select the staging folder. What you do not want to do is move the camera on the Drag to Reorder section under the staging folder. All this does is it places the camera under the folder in the site tree. It does not put the camera in the folder in the site tree. So again, we want to click on the staging folder, and then we can have it sit in that folder. Press OK to add the camera, and then you're done there. Once the camera has been connected to the system, you can now see here that the Permission Group 1 does not automatically have permission to see this camera, and the same thing for Permission Group 2. However, the standard user group that I did not modify does automatically have permission for this camera because they have permission for this folder. Once you have completed the staging for this camera and it is ready to be used by other operators, we can go ahead and move it into the appropriate location. Before we do that, in this example, I am going to show you the permissions before and after the move. So first we will go into the Permission Group 1. We will see that they do not currently have access to this camera, and the same thing for Permission Group 2. However, standard users, as before, still have that permission. Once I move the camera from out of the staging folder and into the Permission Group 1's folder, you will see that the permissions have now updated for Group 1. They now have access to the camera. Group 2 still does not have access to this camera because they do not have permission for this folder. Additionally, when controlling permissions using the folders, when you move cameras to a new folder, it will inherit the permissions within that folder and it will lose its old permissions. So for example, if Permission Group 1 has access to the H6A bullets, but Permission Group 2 does not, if we move this camera from the folder that Permission Group 1 has to the folder that the Permission Group 2 has, we will see that the permissions for both of those groups update automatically. So Permission Group 1 no longer has access to this camera that it previously had access to, and now Permission Group 2 has gained access to the camera that it did not previously have permission to.